Hello and welcome to the unofficial Beausejour Senior Hockey League podcast. I'm your host, Corey, joined by my co-host, Corey, the very tired Corey.
It was a long day at work, I'm not going to lie, but, I'm awake, I'm here, I'm not going to miss this for the world because we had a pretty interesting guest this week.
Phenomenal, man. It was such fun to have him on here. I've seen him and ran into him in the rink, but never talked to him, so it was awesome. Wish you were there, Corey. I think he does too. But you were there in spirit. You've been busy this week at work.
Yeah, I mentioned this on the wrestling podcast. 2 shops closed down, and we're getting their lobster. So it's been 6 o'clock plus every night. So
good for the bank account, bad for your energy levels, though.
Yeah, well, another couple weeks and I'm good to go.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to throw to that interview with Doug White, the president and co-owner of the Miramichi Northmen. So enjoy that, and we'll be back right after.
Enjoy.
All right, Corey from the podcast. I'm joined tonight by the president of the Miramichi Northmen, Doug White. How's it going, sir?
It's going great, Corey.
Nice to finally meet you. I know we've crossed paths in the rink, but never talked.
No, it's good to meet you too. Yes.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself for anybody that doesn't know you? We've got a lot of fans around the league that I'm sure are hearing your voice for the first time.
Yes. Well, I've been around hockey my whole life. I was born and raised in the Miramichi. I did all my minor hockey in Newcastle, former town of Newcastle. I played high school hockey for Miramichi Valley High School. I played a little bit of senior hockey for half a dozen years or so, many years ago. Coached a lot of minor hockey right up through midget. Coached some girls hockey. Coached 4 or 5 years of senior hockey.
Okay.
And, last year, we took a new role on of owning and running the team. And it was quite an eye-opener because I never seen behind the scenes before of running the senior team.
One thing that always shocks people is to hear how much work goes into senior hockey all year round. There's no off season for senior hockey, really. You guys are recruiting guys, talking to guys, signing players straight through the summer. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, last year the Northmen run now 2 years. So after the first year, most of the executive, for whatever reason, decided to quit. So me and my 2 buddies, we wanted to see the show keep going. And so we kind of took ownership of the team and we incorporated it. And the other 2 guys are Robert Holmes and Michael John Mitchell. And we're each 33 1/3% owners. We then went out and got a volunteer group to set kind of as board members. And you're right, it is 12 months of the year because last year we started meeting in May or June, and we basically met every week for the whole summer until the league got going. Reason being, we wanted to put a good product on the ice, and we also wanted to make it fun for the fans in between periods.
I think you guys succeeded.
Yes. And it's something I didn't realize how many hours that have to go in to keep this team running.
It's really something. You mentioned the volunteers. Can you talk a little bit about your volunteers? Because the volunteers for the Northmen are truly, from the second you walk in the door, they're such great people.
They're unbelievable. We have a great bunch led by Sophie Savoy. She jumped on board with us last year. And I don't want to mention everybody's name because I'm going to freak everybody. These people, men and women, show up to the rink every night. They go to our meetings. And some of them get to see very little action on the ice. And they work nonstop from probably 5 o'clock in the evening until probably an hour after the game's over. And the amount of work to do is just unbelievable.
We don't shy away from the fact that we think the Civic's one of our favorite rinks in New Brunswick, not even just in senior hockey, just in general. That rink has atmosphere. It has a history. You walk in and it just feels, you can feel the great things that have happened there. How lucky are you guys to be there?
Oh, we're really lucky. I know you've heard it before, but Miramichi is definitely a senior town. And a few years ago, when the Phantoms were running, they run out of the Lord Beaverbrook in Chatham, which didn't go as good as when we moved over to the Civic Center. And the crowds that we get on a weekly basis, I mean, we're running anywhere from probably 1,500 to 3,000 fans a game. And they show up, they support us, they're loud in the rink, they buy 50-50. They want to see us win, of course, but they want to see good hockey. They want to see goal scoring, they want to see big hits, and they want to see the odd tilt on the ice.
Absolutely. 50-50, which my father won one of last year, and he occasionally jokes with me about he's going to have to come back to Miramichi to win another 50-50. So what made you guys bring the Northmen back 2 years ago, and then you take it over last year? Is it something like the city needs senior hockey, in my opinion?
The city definitely needs senior hockey. It wasn't, I really had nothing to do with it coming back the first year.
Okay.
The main guy behind it was Alan Menzies bringing it back.
Yes, sir.
And they had a great year for the first year, and they drew big crowds. And I enjoyed going to the games. And at the end of last year, for whatever reason, at the end of the first year, for whatever reason, we didn't think it was going to go again. That's why we decided that we got to keep this thing rolling for as long as this league is sticking around, because we got to be part of it.
Absolutely. So, we hope the league's around for a long time. It's obviously we like it a lot. Let's get into the hockey. Last year, you guys really put out an amazing product. Solid team. You guys were rolling 3-4 lines every night. You rarely did you have a short bench. Really had a lot of commitment from the guys. Talk to me a bit about last season.
No, last year we had a great team. And like you say, on the road and at home, we always dressed a full team. We had great goaltending. We had good defense. We had good forwards. Most nights we could roll 4 lines, no trouble. Like I say, we had a great year. We got into the semifinals against Oaktown. At the end of the year, we got on a little win streak. So going into the playoffs, we had won the last 2 games. And then we won the first 5 games of the playoffs.
Yep.
So we come back home up 1-0 against Oaktown, as usually happens when you're on a win streak. I think all the players thought it was going to be easy. And Oaktown came into Miramichi and spanked us 5-1. Everybody was bad. The goalie was bad, the defense were bad, and the forwards were bad. And after that, we went to Oaktown and we lost the game in overtime. For whatever reason, I never blame anything on the refs, but we were up 3-1 that game. Some of our players played a lot of minutes, and I think they run out of steam, and then we get into penalty trouble. And I think after Oaktown won that game, kind of took the sail out of us, but we did come back and make it a 7-game series. And
absolutely,
fortunately for us, good for Oaktown, the 7 games. So. Anyway, it was a great year. Like, it was for our first year. Like I say, it was a learning experience, and we knew we had to improve going into this year. And one thing we did last year at the beginning of the year, we got David Morrison as our GM, and David lives hockey 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, from morning to night. And if the player out there, David's going to find him. And he's done a great job last year, and he's done a great job this year getting our team together.
We see that with some junior A signings. Will Irvine, who had a great junior A career, coming in from the Summerside Western Capitals, I believe. I'm not as familiar with Josh McDonald, but you guys have some really good junior A signings. Last year, you guys had maybe the 2 best imports in the league, in my opinion, for a combo. Bernier's a phenomenal defenseman, and Dan Vautour was solid for you guys in net, game in, game out. Are we going to see some of those guys back this year? Some of that team from last year coming back?
Yeah, Bernier's Vautour's back. Alexander Bernier back for sure. We had another defenseman by the name of Nolan Allward. He's coming back. This young McDonald from PEI 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, and he was the MVP of the Junior A League, the whole league. So we're expecting some big things out of him. Also this year, Bryce Milson is healthy, and he's going to start from the first year. As you know, last year, I think he only played 4 games before the playoffs. And those 4 games, he accumulated 16 points. So
it's amazing.
I want to see what he can do healthy for the full year. And we're trying to get a couple of forwards that can go up and help him out a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
A guy like Bryce Milson, who could be the best player in the league when he's healthy, has amazing hands, can skate through hits, really a fan favorite as well. I'm really excited to see him this year healthy, and I'm sure he's pretty excited to get out there healthy at the start of the year, because that home opener, my God, that was amazing last year.
Yeah, he's raring to go, and Chris Keating's back. Jeff Wilson, 42 years old, is going to come back for another year.
Wow.
As I don't know if everybody knows, but Nick Foran has officially hung up the skates and won't be returning. He's a big fan favorite, but he's going to stay on board with us and help us out, kind of run the hockey team a little bit. We do have a couple people we think can. They're never going to fill his shoes, but we do have a couple people that, if need be, cuffs. We have a couple.
Yeah. I think I know the guys you're talking about. There's definitely always no lack of guys that are willing to drop the gloves for their teammates in Miramichi. It's a great hockey team for sure. So the fans have got to be getting excited, Doug. Do you have anything else you want to add to the end of this interview?
No, the fans are excited. We're getting messages daily for tickets. The sponsors are unbelievable. We have a lot of sponsors that are back on board. I don't want to miss any of the players. Kenny DeGlant's back. Brett Young's back. Denver Dunfield's back. He's possibly good heavyweight. Avery Brennan's back. Yeah. So
talking about heavyweights, Avery Brennan.
Yes, Avery Brennan's back. Brendan Milson's back. He's a dandy. I love the way Brendan plays.
Yeah.
So we're expecting big things this year.
It sounds like you've got a really well-rounded lineup, adding some of those lumberjacks, adding those junior A guys, and building on that chemistry that you had last year. Very excited to get to the Civic this year.
We're talking about the lumberjacks. Them folding, definitely our team is better, but we're kind of disappointed. As you know, we had a big rivalry with them. Every time they came into town, the rink was packed, and we were kind of a little sad to see them fold. But anyway, that stuff happens, and we're looking to move on. There's other rivalries out there. Elsie's always a big rivalry.
Oh my
God. I expect Dalhousie to become a big rivalry with us this year, and hopefully some other teams. Amherst's going to have a good team. The Acadia Pens, everybody has improved this year, so the fans are going to see some really, really good hockey this year.
I think so too. I think Amherst is really kind of going to be coming in as a contender. Dalhousie last year was phenomenal to watch. Those games between you guys and Dalhousie were outstanding. I'm not going to say I was hoping to see that in the finals. I was fine seeing the Lumberjacks in the finals. Like you said, they're a fantastic team. We're going to miss them this year. We hope to see hockey back in that region in the future, because those are some great fans, and that's a beautiful rink. But man, Miramichi and Dalhousie there's just something in the rink, because those guys from Dalhousie will travel anywhere for hockey. And the guys from Miramichi will travel anywhere for hockey. So you get just packed rinks everywhere. Everybody gets along, and it makes for some fun hockey as a neutral person like us to be able to watch. So
Dalhousie definitely had a good team last year. We were hoping to get in the finals against them. We think we could have done something with them in the finals. I mean, who knows? We didn't make it that far, but we think we would have gave them a run in the finals. So maybe it'll happen. Maybe.
Hopefully, that would not be a bad series for sure. Doug, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for everything you do for the league. We certainly do appreciate you. Thanks for making a few announcements here. We love to hear that. I'm sure the fans will be excited with it. And just know that the door is always open. If you ever want to come on, shoot me a message and we can make it happen.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you, Doug.
Okay.
All right, Corey, what do you think of that interview?
Very giving is what I'm going to say. Didn't have to give us that much, and he gave us a treasure worth of information that was desperately needed, or not needed, but wanted.
Yeah, I mean, needed and wanted by us and lots of Miramichi fans. We'll get into that, the player announcements in a bit, but thanks to Doug for coming on. Just so great of him to come on and give us his time. And we're looking forward to getting back to the Civic. All right, Corey, first we're going to get to our regularly scheduled podcast episode. We'll get into some of the random stuff first, and then we'll get into the Miramichi preview that I'm really looking forward to with all those players you just heard announced. So one thing that was brought up that we will start with is the retirement of one of our favorites.
That one broke my heart. Nick Foran hanging up the skates. There had been rumors and rumblings that he was done. I think the cat was already out of the bag, but we were just waiting for confirmation. And Doug pretty much confirmed that, yes, Nick Foran is done with hockey. He will still be with the Northmen in one way or another, but on the ice he will not be. And that, the one thing I will be thankful for is that I got to see him in person. I got to see him play, because I got into senior hockey very late. And, I'm glad I got to witness Nick Foran.
Nick is another one of those senior hockey legends in the Maritimes. Yeah. He one of the best. I mean, a solid fighter, great fighter, fantastic guy. One of our guests on the podcast, a great guest. So generous with his stories. We still want him back on sometime to share some more of those. He's also played in the Ligue Nord-Américaine de Hockey in Quebec, so traveled a bit. But yeah, we love Nick, man. And if you ever want to see some Nick Foran fights and just Nick being Nick, get on YouTube and just search him. You'll see lots of stuff from years gone by. Nick was a great fighter, heck of a team guy, great leader, and I'm sure they're going to miss him in that locker room, and the fans are definitely going to miss him. He put some, not plug your ears, kids. He put some asses in the seats.
Yep. I will miss him too. It's just one of those guys. I'm not ashamed to admit this. I got starstruck on this podcast twice with Trey Lewis and with Nick Foran. And it's just, what can you say? Nick Foran, he's one of the all-time greats, one of my all-time favorites. Going to be missed. It's a shame, but a happy retirement, Nick.
Yeah, definitely going to look forward to seeing him around the ring. Glad he's still going to be involved in Northmen. And, he's got some kids. I'm sure he'll still be involved in minor hockey. So, it's unfortunate for the BSHL. It's a big loss, but I also totally understand it and respect it. Absolutely. Nick had mentioned to me after the last game in River Valley that he thought it was going to be the last season for him. And even though you knew that, Corey, and I knew that, we kind of were hoping that he'd come back selfishly, but I get it. I respect it. So thanks, Nick, for everything you've done for the podcast, everything you've done for senior hockey in New Brunswick.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. Happy retirement once again.
So last Friday, we went to the Steamers home opener.
We did.
Had a pretty good time.
I enjoyed that game way too much.
So it was 1-0 going into the third. For Truro. They were playing the Truro Bearcats. 1-0 going into the third for Truro. West Kent comes back, scores a goal late, and then scores another one to win it with seconds left. So exciting.
3 seconds left. And the goalie for Truro, his name was Cornoyer, I believe. Yep. And you can't help but feel bad for that kid because the best player on the ice the entire night was Cornoyer. He was a solid brick wall, was playing on his head. And these last 2 goals, that last goal went in, he sat on the ice. He was just sitting there.
I felt so bad for him.
To the point where I was like, I don't think I should be looking at him. I started just like looking around. Just felt so bad for the kid. But, you know, the JK just went unglued right there. They just were so excited. What a comeback win for the Steamers. Hockey is amazing, isn't it?
It gets all the emotions out of you. You feel bad for that kid. You've got that emotion. You're super happy because of that late goal. Sometimes you're scared when the glass shatters in front of you. You know, it gets all the emotions.
Yeah, all the emotions. I've only seen the glass break once. It was in Elsie, I believe, in Rishabukdale for an Elsie game. I believe you've seen like 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, it's unfortunately I've seen it happen at a Wildcats game. I saw it happen at a Rangers game. Saw it happen at that Hawks game. I think I saw it happen years ago at the old arena a couple times. It's always fun to watch them try to replace that glass because they don't do it that often. So it can be a real battle. Yeah,
you were telling me about the Rishabukdale Rangers game where you and a couple of other people were trying to like help them out and they had no clue how to do it.
It was a frustrating, like some panes of glass are smaller or they're weird, and that happened to break almost in the turn. It was just a weird piece of glass, and the way that it shattered, it was like just all over the ice, all over the ground. It was a bad one, but yeah, it does happen. Luckily it didn't happen at the Steamers game. It did happen at the Steamers game a week before that though.
Yep.
I also went and saw the Kent Coyotes on Saturday, which was a good game, a good time. Every time I go to that freaking arena, I feel like, Grand Prix
wrestling. The first ever wrestling show I saw live was in that arena. I was 10 years old.
It's beautiful.
It was, the last show there in the summer of 1999.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a Grand Prix show?
It was Grand Prix. The main event was Kurgan versus Joe E. Legend for whatever belt that they had. That the exact belt that would eventually go to Real Action Wrestling and rip in half during a ladder match.
Was he Kurgan or was he the Acadian Giant?
He was going by Kurgan.
Okay.
So no televised or anything like that. In the newspapers, it was always WWF Superstar Kurgan.
That was after his WWF run, obviously.
He had just left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Obama is a great talent. We're lucky to have him here in New Brunswick. Yeah. He's definitely a phenomenal guy.
Yeah.
Super nice guy, too.
Super nice guy. I remember seeing him at a North Pro show, and he was standing next to our buddy Joel, and I was like, he's not that tall. Then I saw him at the co-op, and I'm like, he is tall.
Yeah, he's really tall.
Really tall.
He's really tall. So, this week, or I guess about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, I lost my wallet. So, shut up, Corey. Shut up. He already knows. I shouldn't have even told you the story until we got to this point.
Just before you continue, this is my favorite Corey story that will ever be. Ever.
That's saying something.
That's saying a lot. I laughed so hard when he told me this story.
So a couple weeks ago, I went to Moncton to work, and I know I have my wallet with me because I paid for something in cash at hospice at my work. We can buy lunches or suppers or whatever there for a really good price. The food's amazing. Our chefs there are phenomenal. So I bought a meal and I paid cash, so I know I had my wallet. And I came home that night. I sure the hell didn't have my wallet. Since then, I've been searching for my wallet, and I was like, I don't think anybody stole it because nobody's used my card. But I went into Walmart that day, so I called up Walmart to see if they had my wallet, and they said they hadn't found a wallet. So I waited a bit because I was like, if somebody stole it, somebody's going to use my debit card or something. And I transferred most of my money to my savings account, so nobody could get much money out of it. Then about I don't know, I guess that would have been like Wednesday. The following, so that Friday, I went, I think it was Tuesday actually. That Friday, I was like, I'm clearly not going to find this. So I just got up that morning, went to Service New Brunswick, replaced my Medicare card, replaced my license. Following Monday, I went and got, shut up, Corey. The following Monday, I went to the bank and replaced my debit card, called my credit card provider, got a new credit card, got a new Air Miles card, got a new Costco card, got every card that I needed. And got a new wallet with an air tag. So if I lose this stupid thing, I'll find it. And then today I was working from home and Tracy was working from home as well. So my girlfriend's Tracy. Most of you have met her. If not, she's not that great. So don't bother trying to meet her. She laughed. She comes up the stairs and she's laughing so fucking hard that it was like, what is going on? So she comes upstairs, she's laughing, and she has this box. And that day in Moncton, I bought Gushers because I went into Walmart and I saw Gushers, the crappy fruit snack from when I was a kid. And I was like, I haven't had this in like 30 years. So I bought a box because I was like, that's cool. And Walmart that day, I bought a couple other things. But while I was driving home, I remember I had opened the box of Gushers. So I took a Gushers out while I was driving home. I think I was stopped at construction, shocker, in New Brunswick, and ate some Gushers. When I got home, I clearly remember this now. I threw my Gushers in my bag that I bring with me to work, and I threw my wallet in there too, I guess. And today she comes upstairs and she's laughing. She's laughing annoyingly, like Corey was doing a minute ago. And she goes, put your hand in this box. And I go, what? She goes, put your hand in this box. And I'm like, you talking dirty to me or something? Like, what the fuck's going on here? And she goes, put your hand in the Gushers box, dipshit. That's literal words. That's word for word. That's what Tracy said. Corey, you know that's what she said too.
Yeah.
Put your hand in the Gushers box, dipshit. So I put my hand in, and I pull out my wallet. A wallet fits really well in a Gushers box. So
when Corey told me that, he was telling me that, and he never mentioned anything about the wallet. And when he says I pulled out my wallet, I laughed so hard because that is the perfect ending to a movie right there.
You're a dick.
Yep. I'm not going anywhere either.
So the moral of the story is I have two wallets, which is fine because I'll probably lose this one because I'm a dipshit. And, I thought that story should be shared here because why the hell not?
Why not? I pushed for it a lot.
Yeah, you pushed for it. And I know some of you will enjoy it. I'm sure a couple of people will probably message me laughing about it, and that's fine.
Adam's story.
Just know that I love you guys, and thanks for your continued support. We talked a little bit about wrestling a few minutes ago, and I talked about that cocaine game, which was really fun, by the way. Go catch some Junior B games, Junior C games if you're in your region, or Junior A. Just go support hockey in general. Just go support hockey, no matter what league it is. I love hockey. I love preseason hockey. I can't get enough. I'm addicted, and it's an issue. But we did talk about wrestling and cocaine in 2 weeks. North Pro
on October
at the Tide and Boar. Can't wait.
Yep. There is an IHW show on this Friday. It's tempting. It's very tempting.
Oh, I think it might end up happening, but there's just I love IHW.
Yeah.
And we have fun at IHW, but I love North Pro. North Pro is it's my baby.
There's something about North Pro that's just the people. They're not just the wrestlers, but the fans. Like it's almost like this small little community that we've built there, and we got one of our favorite wrestlers actually retiring that night, which is a very big bummer.
Yeah, Wayne Jugs, man. I always, it's one of those places where people laugh and they sing and you have fun. You get to know people. So if you're anywhere within the Moncton region, get out to that North Pro show. There's also a CCW show coming up in Doketown this week.
It's on Saturday. NBWA. It's CCW, but it's their governing body, the New Brunswick Wrestling Alliance. And that should be great. And that's going to be it. I was very tempted to go just for the burgers.
Hopefully they have burgers that night. But yeah, so go see that MBWA show in Doketown, New Brunswick this Saturday. I believe 6:00 the doors open.
I believe so. Yeah.
Go check that out. This Saturday, I will be. Hopefully you won't be working too late, and you might be, but regardless, Amherst has an intra-squad game and some other events, so get out and support that.
If I'm not working, which it's actually supposed to be not too nice out, so there is a possibility that I will be joining you. I hope so anyway, because I really want to see the marsh.
You want to see the marsh? You want to get to the marsh?
I want to get to the marsh.
11 a.m. till 12 p.m. is a full team practice. 1:30 till 2:30, you can meet the Ducks. And 2:45 till 4:45 is the intra-squad game. So get out there Saturday, September 21st at the Amherst Stadium. We're going to be there. We can't wait to get there and, support it. So thanks to the Ducks for throwing that together. Hopefully some other teams get some intra-squad games going. If they do, we will try our best to be there and cover it. Get some pictures, get a couple videos. Also, Dalhousie, Amherst, and Miramichi, I believe, have announced their season ticket sales. So if you're a fan of those teams, go check their Facebook pages out for more information. Buy your season tickets so you don't have to bring cash every week with you to the rink. It's annoying. Support your local team. Dalhousie today also announced some new luxury seats. Did you see that post, Corey?
I did not. I haven't been on social media at all today.
Okay, so they've taken down the glass behind the visitor net where the visitor shoots, or where Dalhousie shoots twice, and they've installed some seats. And I saw it from Eric Babin. Eric Babin texted me some pictures of it, and I was like, oh, that's really nice. That's awesome. So today they've announced that they've got new luxury seats. They're going to be auctioning them off for charity, which I think is pretty wicked.
That's pretty cool.
It comes with 5 beers per game. Ooh. So that's a pretty, I know, it's not bad. And it starts, for a pair of tickets, it starts at $350, the starting bid. So all proceeds go to the Recreoplex, who are Dalhousie's the Marauders are a major supporter of. So that is this Sunday, September 22nd from 7 to 9. You have to be there in person. You can't bid in advance. You can send somebody to bid for you. And then after that, you'll have 24 hours to pay for it. So get there. I think those seats look just out freaking standing. They look so cushy and comfortable.
Yeah, they look friggin' amazing. I just saw pictures real quick when Eric Babin sent you those. But I'm going to have to go on Facebook after. It's like I said, I worked all day, then came home and did a podcast. So life is great.
He's a hard working man. So yeah, get out there, support the Marauders, support all your local teams. We are now only 3 weeks away.
3 weeks. Yeah.
Tomorrow will be 3 weeks.
Yes.
So when this comes out tomorrow,
or is it?
Yeah,
3 weeks. Oh, okay. No. Yeah, that's right. We're recording on Wednesday. So
it comes out on Thursday. So the next day,
I'm smelling what you're stepping in.
It's dog shit and my wallet somehow, but whatever. So now let's get to the Miramichi Northmen, Corey. I'm really excited to get back to the Civic this year. Same. I love that rink. I don't know if it's the best rink in the league because the JK is just phenomenal to watch hockey in.
Yeah.
It's tough to beat that rink, but the Civic has this vibe, this ambiance. It feels historic. It's just fun. So can't wait to get back there and check some hockey out. They had already announced. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, it's just, you're right. There is an ambiance there. And there's also those fans. Those wonderful, wonderful chirping fans that we sit in front of that just, the game is entertaining enough. Then we get these fans that are just
just give it to the visiting teams.
They're probably the best fans in the league. Like, I remember when you tried to give, you eventually did. Chris Keating and Nick Foran, you wanted to give them T-shirts because they were guests on the podcast. And you were like screaming at them, hey, boys. And they refused to look up until finally one of them just sort of, and they were like, I thought it was a chirping fan, but it was just Corey.
Yeah, it's just us. They've got some great fans all around that rink. Some of my favorite stories have come from the Civic Center. The shoe toss.
Shoegate.
Shoegate. We got the heckling fans. Just all kinds of great times.
You're winning a bunch of money.
Yeah, my dad winning the 50-50 was pretty cool. So they had already announced Benji Curtis and Patterson from the River Valley Lumberjacks.
Yes.
As well as John Hardy from the River Valley Lumberjacks. And then for imports, they had announced Josh McDonald and Will Irvine. So they had already made a few announcements. But man, was Doug so generous with this one. He made so many announcements, man.
I remember Corey immediately. He's like, are you busy? I'm like, I'm waiting to do another podcast right now. He's like, as soon as you're done, you let me know. I'm calling you immediately. Corey was, I could almost feel him vibrating on he was so excited.
It was a great episode. It was
a
very
great
fun
interview. And he kept saying, I wish you would have been there. I wish you would have been there.
I'm always a little more nervous when Corey is in the interview with me. It just feels like we've gotten to a point now where it's a natural thing that we're together. And when you're not there, or if I'm not there, it's just a little bit off. So it went well, though. Doug White was phenomenal. So we'll get into a few of those announcements. So first of all, Brett Young's back.
Yep.
Which means we'll be seeing some Roxanne Merrill Young live streams, which I'm excited about.
I have zero complaints about that. When you watch a Miramichi game, if you're there live or you're watching from home, you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy this fun game. Roxanne is not all heroes wear capes.
I agree. I love her. She's such a great person. I love that even if we're in Amherst or if we're in the peninsula or wherever we are, we'll be able to pop on that live stream and watch during the intermissions or watch it on the drive home, or for me, listen to it on the drive home if I'm driving.
Didn't we listen? We were at a game. It was a playoff game. And during the car ride back, we were watching, I believe it was game 4 of Miramichi and Spring Hill.
Yeah, I have no idea where the hell we would have been, maybe Dalhousie or the Peninsula or somewhere, but it's always nice when you see streams elsewhere and you're able to check those out. We'll be streaming again this year as well, some games, but for those Miramichi home games, you're going to have to tune in some Roxanne Merrill Young and enjoy some of her live streams. We will as well.
Yep.
They also announced, and just not to overshadow Brett, Brett's a phenomenal player. He's such a huge part of that team. He's a leader, and I'm just glad that he's back. I'm glad that he's back. He played softball this summer with Tamo Tigers, and it's going to be great to see him back in the Northman jersey.
Yeah, I agree. Brett Young, what can you say? Glad he's back, and can't wait to see him on the ice.
Can't wait to see him on the ice. Jeff Wilson's back as well, 42-year-old Jeff Wilson, who, again, battles out there game in, game out. Super happy to see him back for another year of hockey. Andrew Lontang's back after his summer playing with the Chatham Ironmen. Nolan Allward, Brandon Milson. I'll save the other Milson for the end.
Okay.
But, man, Kennedy Gallant is back, which I'm happy about. Kennedy brings some excitement to the rink. He throws some hits. He's not a big guy, but he throws hits. He's not scared to drop the gloves if he has to. He scores some great goals. I think we've got a couple of his goals up on our Facebook or YouTube. So super glad to see Kennedy back. Some of the heavyweights that are going to be trying to replace or help replace Nick Foran, I don't think it's possible to fully replace everything that Nick Foran brings to a team, but a couple of youngsters here that are also great hockey players in Avery Brennan and Denver Dunfield were both announced. We were actually standing next to Avery Brennan I was when I was taking pictures at one of the last Lumberjacks games, and he's such a nice guy. As scary as he is on the ice, he's super nice off the ice. So happy to see him back out there.
Yeah,
Bryce Milson.
Bryce Milson is the one you want to talk about, huh?
He was injured last year. He had that knee injury, came back from the injury, and I think 16 points in 3 games, and then had a solid playoff run. But this year he's healthy. He's going to be there the whole season. How important is that going to be for the Miramichi Northmen?
3 games, 16 points. What's he going to do in 20? That is the $1 million question, and I think he's up to the task. I think he's going to roll with it. I think he's going to rock with it. He's going to be one of these players that can't miss.
You're about to sing roll with it, rock with it. You're about to get down right there.
Get down with it, yeah. I'm hip with the young people music.
Such a dumbass. I'm happy to see Bryce Milson back for sure. He's a very talented guy. The other announcement that I was really happy to hear was Captain Chris Keating back for another year. This guy's leadership is incredible.
Second to none. Chris Keating's a great guy. Just another OG member of the podcast, one of our first guests. Leadership is something, especially in hockey, you either have it or you don't. You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%.
And Chris Keating is probably one of the best. And there are plenty of great leaders on the Northmen. I think Chris Keating being back is an absolute A++ for the Northmen.
Their imports this year in goal, we're going to be seeing from our neck of the woods, Dan Vautour back in net.
Yep, my long lost cousin.
Dan Vautour.
People don't believe me. His father and my mother are cousins.
There you go. Say hi to him sometime at a game. She's like, "Yo, Dan, what's going on, buddy?"
He has no clue who I am.
He might, but from this podcast, not because of you being his cousin.
He's like, yes, Corey's my cousin. Then he finds out it's me. He's like, damn.
Yeah, he's hoping for me.
Yeah, there you go.
Probably. The other import is Alex Bernier. So
yes,
how good is the power play going to be in Miramichi with Alex Bernier and John Hardy?
Is that a serious question?
I mean, it's kind of insane. It's almost not fair. That's two of the best offensive defensemen in this league that are now on the same team.
Geez. The one-timers, the slap shots that you're going to see.
And both guys just know when to pinch. They have that in them. You see John Hardy do that where he'll kind of slowly pinch up during a face-off. They'll win the draw to him. He'll deke around two guys and get this great scoring chance. Bernier does the same thing. So I know a lot of people are hoping to see Alex Bernier in some green this year in Bucktouche, but looks like he's going to be back with the Northmen. And I mean, as much as I would love to see him in Bucktouche, I think this Northman team is building up to be a legitimate contender. No surprise to anybody, but
here's the thing. They're a team that's clearly a contender. Clearly. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're also one of the teams that's like low key. Like everybody's talking about Amherst, everybody's talking about LC. Why is Miramichi not talked about more?
I mean, we're the ones that have the podcast. Why don't we talk about them more?
Because today was the day we talk about them.
That's fair.
But in comments and all that, it's always Peninsula is going to win. Amherst is going to win. The Hawks going to win. Dalhousie is going to win. Like Miramichi has a solid chance to take the entire league.
I completely agree. And I think you've got 12, 15 guys that are coming back this year. Mm-hmm. The chemistry is going to be there.
Yep.
You're going to have, some great coaches. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say who the best team in the league is, but I do believe a lot in chemistry. Mm-hmm. And if you get a lot of new faces in, it's going to take a little bit to gel. I don't think it's going to take very long to gel in Dalhousie. I don't think it's going to take very long to gel in Miramichi. And I think Miramichi is probably a contender right out the gate. And I think the top two teams this season get a bye in the first round. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Rest up a little bit. As we saw, injuries happen. They pile on. So those points early are going to matter this year, which I can't say that they always mattered in the past. But it's going to be a tight league.
It is. And, my prediction is it's going to be I don't see one particular team just falling completely off bottom of the barrel. I think it's going to be competitive all around.
And again, the coaching staff at Miramichi with Menzies coming back and then Morrison stepping in as a head coach. And honestly, those are two head coaches. Let's just be honest. Those are both great leaders. Alan Menzies is such a great community guy, very well respected across baseball and hockey. I really do think that the leadership that team has, even losing Foran, it's a huge loss. I think other guys are going to be stepping in, stepping up. You're going to see Bernier here for a second year. He's going to be stepping up. Some other guys are getting a little bit older, and they'll be stepping up. And obviously you have Wilson coming back. I don't know. I'll never predict who's going to win this championship because that's just not my play.
Year. We did that.
How did it go?
I believe we had picked Miramichi to win because Miramichi just on paper looked fantastic, and they were fantastic. Anybody
we didn't pick Dalhousie?
No, we did not.
I'm sorry, Popoff.
I'm sorry, Pop. Yeah,
sorry, Popoff. Love you, buddy. Sorry, Popoff. I think on paper, again this year, Miramichi is a contender.
Yeah, and they were one game away from the finals. So, it didn't go in their way that night, but it could go their way this year. Who knows? Who knows where this is going to go? Like, I don't care who makes it to the finals because guess who wins? Me, you. It's going to be fantastic no matter what. All right.
Agreed.
And the teams that do make it to the finals, guess what? They deserve to be there because they made it there. Yep. Whether it's Bucktouche, whether it's Elsie, whether it's Miramichi, Dalhousie, the Peninsula, or Amherst. Whoever makes it there deserves it. And whoever wins it, well, I'm going to say the cup got presented too soon because the season will already be over.
I know, we'll be heartbroken. Luckily, we're months away from that, but only 3 weeks away or 2 weeks away from puck drop. So, thanks again to the Miramichi Northmen. Thanks to Doug White for coming on. We always appreciate all of your support. The Northmen have been so great to us.
Doors always open.
Can't help but say the volunteers in Miramichi are second to none. From Sophie Savoy, when you walk in the door, straight through, everybody that volunteers for Northmen are just top-notch, class act. They treat us so well. And they're just super friendly people. Even if I do love to joke with them a little bit and get some ribs. I just rib everybody though. What are you gonna do?
You ribbing people? No, I don't believe it.
It'll probably be even worse this year because I know everybody just a little bit more. So, but then just be like, go buy a box of Gushers and lose your wallet, you dipshit, and then I'll have nothing to say. God. All right. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks Corey for being here as always. I appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you for having me and my so tired face. I look pale. People can't see the video.
You gained energy as we went along this episode, though.
Yeah, we're talking about the Miramichi
Northmen. Yeah, I do. It gets exciting. That's about all we have for this episode. We'll be back next week to preview the Elsie Puck Duck Hawks, our last team that we're previewing. Unbelievable that we're this close.
It's unreal. Just a few short weeks away. It feels like an eternity, but we're knocking on the door. Here we go.
All right, get out to Amherst this Saturday. Check out the Intra-Squad game. Check out their practice. Support them, and hopefully some other teams announce stuff coming up in the next few weeks. Thanks for being here, Corey. We'll see you soon.
Take care.